Okay, we're back. Let's talk energy transmutation and why it's so important. So, just in case you were wondering, you look at the etymological definition of transmute, it just means to change something. So, if you're going to transmute energy, that means you're using it in a way to where you can change the form of it. Okay, so you ever heard that somebody can be a water bender or an air bender or earth bender or something like that, fire bender, etc. So that's actually a form of energy transmutation. So of course it's not quite a literal thing where you see some fire and you can literally bend it with by touching it or with your thoughts. Of course you can manipulate anything with thoughts, but that's what I'm talking about though. This is all starting off with thought. Everything starts off with the highest intelligence, which is within the mind. So everything here that we're talking about when it comes to energy transmutation it's all about your point of view on it, because of course the mind has its own individual perspective. That's what makes us individuals in this world. So look, so if I'm in this world, right, and say for example somebody tries to approach me with an energy that I don't really appreciate. So maybe I'll give an example of somebody being famous. So I'm not going to do myself. I'll do an example externally. So somebody who's famous, they get a lot of attention, a lot. And of course, some of that attention is unwanted attention. So somebody who might be famous could actually benefit from learning energy transmutation in order to basically utilize people's energy and the energy that they receive and that they have access to in order to use it to their own personal benefit. So that's all this is about. So if somebody who's getting a lot of attention, being a celebrity, right? If they're getting a lot of attention in a light that they're not very proud of. So for example, maybe there's something that happened in their personal life that got exposed to the public. Okay. This is a very simple example of energy transmutation. But say this person is a musician, right? This person is getting a lot of attention because say they have like some charges pressing on them, right? So they have a lawsuit going on. Maybe they're getting sued for something. So this person is in the middle of getting a lot of attention in the public eye. So they're getting people to write blogs about them, talking about the situation they're in, and etc. Everything that has to do with it. So a cool way that I've seen a lot of these people do as an energy transmutation is for them, while they're getting that attention, while there's something controversial going on, they'll drop an album because they're already getting that attention. So they're getting attention in a way that they wouldn't like. So what they're basically doing is while people are already looking at them, they're diverting people's attention by like bending it, right? So that in a way you could say that's like air bending, because air is about intellect, but honestly all of this stuff is tied into each other. I mean, everything is everything. So everything is correlated with everything else's existence. That's why everything affects everything else. So if they release that album in the time in which they're still getting a lot of negative attention, it could give twice as much stuff for people to talk about. And naturally, people would more easily associate their album with them too. So they could actually use that push as something that they can use to their benefit. That's just one simple example of energy transmutation. But of course, the reason why I'm telling you all this is because if you want to really get good at like doing magic and wizardry and things like that, you have to be able to figure out and recognize all the energy you have access to, figure out how to use it to your fullest advantage, whether you're using it in a way that could be like for power or material gain, or maybe just you want to utilize it within internally. So you can do this for whatever you want, but you have to get good at controlling your emotions because that's the foundation of it. So if you're getting some attention, first of all, be aware of what you have access to. So it would be a very naive spirit if they're trying to create, manifest their reality, do anything like a fairy or a god would do. Anytime you're trying to create things, you have to be aware of your abilities and your strengths and your weaknesses and the things that you can utilize. So the energy, all of this stuff is just energy. So if you have access to not only yours, but also other people's energy, it makes it that much easier for you to get the reality that you want. I noticed that certain people who are good at this are people who are like internet trolls, right? An internet troll, they'll say something that'll piss you off. So they'll go and get your attention on something. They can say anything. They'll get on there, they'll say something to try to throw you off. they might not even recognize what they're doing metaphysically, but all they're doing is trying to steal some of your energy so that an outcome can happen that would be more into what they're interested in, whether that's them distracting you and taking you off the path of you actually heading in the direction that you want to head in. Because of course, if you're on a road to success and somebody else doesn't want to really see you do that, they're gonna try to like throw roadblocks in the way, right? So this person might, that like that internet troll, right? There might be an internet troll that get in a comment under one of my videos and say some BS, right? I can look at that in two ways. I can look at that as, hey, and then take it personally. Hey, that's a problem. I don't like that. Fuck you, dude. Like I could say something like that, or I could be like, oh, okay, cool. Somebody's paying me attention. Great. That means somebody's watching me. It doesn't matter if they're talking positive, negative, or in between. Energy is energy, bro, and you can manipulate that stuff however you want. So it don't matter if somebody is talking trash about you. If they're talking about you, it's energy for you to utilize. That's why they have that saying that all publicity is good publicity, because if people have their mind on you, you can use that attention for whatever you want to use it for. So it's to your greatest benefit if you figure out how to manipulate energy. So you should get good at figuring out how to piss people off, how to make people smile, when to make people laugh, all that stuff. Whenever I walk in a room and I'm dealing with people, I am very well aware if I'm the most powerful person in the room, who's the most vulnerable person in the room, and how, if I want to, I could very easily take control of this situation. That is how you make sure you authoritize yourself in this reality. You have to be aware of yourself. That's what enlightenment really is. Everybody's interested in getting to enlightenment, whether it's through vegetables and fruits, which that ain't the way to enlightenment, or they're trying to get to enlightenment through some kind of forms of religious type of points of view that they learned from somewhere else. All of this stuff, you're supposed to take bits and pieces from everything and then put it together and come up with your own conclusions. You have to form your own point of view in the world. And of course, you can't necessarily do that if you're not very aware of yourself. So first of all, energy transmutation obviously starts with yourself. But if you really want to get good at this energy bending thing, you're going to have to know how to do it in multiple dimensions, which really means you're going to need to know how to do it internally, externally, with one-on-one conversations and interactions. You're going to have to be able to do it through this matrix called the internet. You're going to have to be able to do it virtually. You're also going to have to figure out how to do it to the masses. If you really want to get good at energy manipulation and really harness a lot of energy, you're going to have to figure out how to get the attention of large groups of people, because a human being is the greatest source of energy that exists in this reality. Period, point blank. Because people's minds are already so convoluted and so complex. All we have to do is just get a slight inkling of people's attention, even if it's temporary. Like, for example, if you're watching a commercial on TV, that commercial is only going to have your attention for probably a couple few seconds. And you're probably even going to walk away from the TV if the TV is showing. Now, I know a majority of people who watch this channel probably don't even watch TV. But hey, every once in a while, you're going to be around a TV that's on. Start noticing how these companies are utilizing people's attention, or the lack thereof, with their subconscious attention, in order to get you to buy stuff. They're figuring this stuff out. They know how the mind works. They know how the subconscious mind works. And they actually want you to walk away from that TV while it's playing, because while that commercial is playing, your subconscious is picking up on all the stuff that they're telling you and selling you. But consciously, you can't protect yourself or defend yourself from it if you're not actually paying attention to what's going on in your surroundings. That's what I'm saying. If you don't want to be a victim of getting your energy manipulated, you're going to have to figure out what it looks like when somebody's trying to take yours. So, of course, you have to preserve your own energy and figure out how to protect yourself, and also how to get it from others who aren't so guarded with their energy. Or should I say, those who are generously giving you access to their energy. You can do this for good or bad intentions, whatever you want. And that's not even my job to tell you what good or bad is. Like I said, come up with your own point of view. But hopefully you can come up with that much more of an awareness on how to get what you want out of life via these tips I gave you in this video.